Okay, welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. This is part 1 of martial arts and their weaknesses, per why you need to know this. It's probably what I'm going to title, Why You Need to Know This. Alright, so I made 2 videos this morning because either I totally missed McDojo Life this morning or it didn't come on. One of the two, I'm not really sure. Doesn't really matter now because tomorrow will be Thursday in like 45 minutes. So anyway, I made a video today because on my way to making the video while waiting for McDojos, I was walking my nephew to put his little ass to sleep, as per freaking usual, because some little asshole won't go to sleep unless he's in the snuggly, and if I'm not carrying the snuggly, he won't go to sleep. Okay, shout out to Keon. Anyway, so I watch these videos. I watch people do single leg, double leg, and waist lock takedowns. All right, and in that video, I did it solely for Instagram, so I'm catching you guys here on Kung Fu Habit number 2 up to speed. This is a waist takedown where someone is standing and you go in and you try to take them down this way. So when you're going for the waist, you're either going to dump them, you're going to try to pick them up and dump them, or you're going to slide down their legs and scoop their legs, so it'll either be single or double, and that's pretty much the gist of that. So watching these videos, I'm not taking anything away from these girls. I believe they were doing jiu-jitsu. Alright, so they're grabbing at the waist and they're going for single leg takedowns. Now, sadly, I'm about to piss everybody who does martial arts off now. So, let me apologize to you right now. If you are a martial artist and you don't believe in what I'm about to tell you, then you can feel free to be pissed off and put your comments in the thing and we can have a debate about the damn thing. But anyway, here's the one truth about all martial arts. All martial arts has its strengths and they have its weakness. Nothing is 100% foolproof. You can take that quote straight out of Batman from Batman the Animated Series. Because if you don't have a contingency for your contingency for your contingency, something is bound to go wrong. Which means you have to be able to adapt. Which means you have to think on the fly. Which means if you're not ready for the unexpected, you're generally going to get hurt. Alright? So, for a double leg takedown, or a single leg takedown, they're coming in. There are many counters to someone coming in for a double leg takedown. Now granted, when you're sparring with someone, you don't want to hurt your training partner. You don't want to hurt the guy you're sparring with, or the girl. So you probably would not do what I am going to suggest. In fact, I'm going to suggest that you do not do what I'm going to suggest unless you are in a street fight only. Alright? Let me explain that. See, when you're just training, you're just training. Now, if your partner doesn't believe that the shit will work and they're brave enough to say, okay, you can try that, then make sure they sign a waiver and a contingency plan to go do that. Because a lot of people don't think that you can stop someone from giving you a double leg takedown or a single leg takedown or a waist lock takedown. Why am I using the word takedown? Because all of those are takedowns. So here's the thing. Someone's coming on this left leg and they're going to grab you. Their eyes are off you only long enough because their eyes are on the target and they're grabbing your leg. So they're going to grab this leg and they're going to pull this leg and they're going to sweep your feet from under you. Alright? Single leg takedown. Double leg takedown pretty much works on the same thing, but they're going to go deep and try to go real deep and sweep you either at the thighs or at the calves. So in the midst of them touching your thigh, boom! You're going to elbow them. Now again, you don't want to do this to your training partner or your sparring partner or whatever the hell you want to call it. You don't want to do that because you're just training. But in real life, when someone's coming in for the takedown, the first damn thing you should probably do is either step back or drive a knee into the opponent's face. Yes, I am not trying to promote violence. Yes, that was very violent. But versus me being taken down or me kneeing my enemy in the face, I'm going to opt to knee him in the face. Why? Because I don't have a really good ground game because my BJJ sucks. But I'm not a BJJ master. I have done Kung Fu, Taekwondo, and Kenpo, and some other various standing up martial arts, including Capoeira, for a reason. I like keeping it on my feet. There are a lot of people who can only beat you if they can get you on the ground. And the reason why they can beat you when they get you on the ground, it might not be that you don't have ground game. It might be one of two reasons. One, once you get body slammed, the wind is going to come out of you if you don't know how to fall properly, which will take most all the wind out of you. So if you get slammed hard enough, that might end the fight right there. But a person pumping on adrenaline doesn't give a damn, and they're going to ground and pound your shit to dust. So to prevent that, when they're coming in, boom! If the knee is close enough to them, use the knee. If they already are in the position of having your leg, then you drop an elbow. I know what you're thinking. Where do we drop the elbow, James? Luckily, I have this trusted pointless arrow to show you where you're going to drop the arrow. So, this shoulder blade here, if they're that close for this side, if they're on this side, that shoulder blade there. Now, why did I pick the shoulder blades instead of the spine? Because according to MMA rules, you can't elbow anybody in the fucking spine. But in the streets, you want to elbow them anywhere down this area. Now, I know you're all going to say, but James, how do you know it's going to work? Let me tell you something. Your spine is your lifeline. So, if you don't know that phrase, you may not have taken the martial arts that I've taken, but many of my teachers have taught me, your spine is your lifeline. You can cripple people, but you can break somebody's back. You can cripple them if you break their fucking neck. The problem is it going to be feasible for you to get that in time before they tackle your shit? We've had this conversation before that when someone grabs you like this and you're being tackled, 9 times out of 10, if you're being speared, you've seen how Rhino gores people, and you see how Edge and them all spear people, and they spear with their bodies far back. But if someone's spearing with the forward, you can elbow them, and you can knee them at the same time. It's not impossible, highly improbable for those who are not trained, but when you elbow them and knee them, I call it the clap. You clap, not the sexually transmitted disease for you smartasses watching. So you clap down, as you bring up, boom. So it's like that. And your primary targets are their shoulder blades and the sternum. Now, in the event that you can't get that, whatever you hit, you hit. So, also, if you know a little bit of judo, if your knees and them don't really affect them in your spine, and you're still rolling because their momentum is bigger than yours, you just grab them, double underhook with your arms, and fling them over. It's not impossible. It's highly improbable. Now, here's that thing. With all things, everything has a weakness, which is why when you are going for a single leg or a double leg takedown, I have no idea what the hell that was, but when you're going for those kind of flashlight, when you're going for those kind of things, you have to understand it. You are exceptionally vulnerable when you are trying to take someone into a single leg or a double leg takedown, because your back's to them 20% of the time. Your back's to them. You're not going to be looking up like this, expecting to get hit in the face when you're going for the double leg or the single leg or the waist lock. Now, if you watch enough wrestling, you'll understand why that shit is the way it is. It just is, If I'm coming to tackle you, and you sidestep and elbow me in my spine, or you sidestep and knee me in this area and knock the wind out of me, I'm already bent over, so your next strike is an elbow or a back fist. And the reason why I give you those two options is because in this hunched over position, I'm already vulnerable to so many different possibilities. So many. You've kneed me in the gut. So you can bring your knee right back and check my chin. Because it'll be funky looking, but it'll be, boom, you need me, slide it back, bring it back up. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Is it probable? Yes, it is. It's going to be kind of problematic because you've already done this part. So how will you do it without rechambering would be the question. Why even bother? You need me in the gut. Might as well just go on and elbow me in the spine. And once you need me in the gut and elbow me in the spine, it's just a heart beating away for just throwing me to the ground. It's not going to be that difficult. Boom, boom. It's really a 3-step motion depending on what you choose to do to me after the fact that you've kneed me in the gut because my dumb ass was charging at you at full speed. A lot of people don't understand how martial arts actually works. Alright? So, let me continue to piss off other martial artists. Depending on what style you intend to use in the fight, and let's be real, depending on what style you actually get the chance to use in the fight, because what style you intend to use and what you are allowed to use are two different concepts. Let me explain that. Let me break that down for you. See, in any controlled environment, UFC, MMA, shit like that, you're not really going to get a whole lot of chances to show off your training skills. All right? Because if you watch MMA or UFC, anything, they don't break down into like Tiger and all that shit. They just keep it punching and kicks. That's pretty much the gist of it. All right? And if you get lucky every now and again, you may see a special kick. Yeah, you may. Now, the chances of them nailing that special kick is sometimes slim, sometimes not. There are fools born every day. But you know, if you're going to fight in the streets, again, it's not going to matter if you know Kung Fu or Karate, because you're going to use what your body allows you to do and what your opponent allows you to do at the time of the fight. If you're normally going to do Kung Fu, so let's say you block and you break and you strike. I left the break off unintentionally. So what it should have been was block and break, slide up the arm and strike in the throat, or just right around here so you can back away from them. Or if you block and break, so they're throwing this punch with the right, block and break, slide, or block and break, elbow, your target is going to be here, or your target is going to be here. That's pretty much the gist of it. But if this guy is stronger than you and you can't break his arm, you have to adapt. So you would have to try to hang on to him, get in and get that elbow in, because if you can't break him with his own strength, you're going to have to get that elbow in there and damage something else. See, fights work differently in the real fight versus the movie versus the scenario that I just put you in. Because anybody can tell you that in a scenario, but when it actually happens, shit changes up really quickly, because you're not aware of someone else's strength until you're in combat with them. That's just a fact. You may have heard the reputation, and then you get into a fight, the guy might be a 300-pound weakling. You know? Because power without the ability to use it is not helping you at all. It's another factor that you need to know about your strength and your physicality. Alright? I'm tough as nails. I'm not strong at all. I know my weakness is physical strength. But I also know that my strength is physical toughness, my ability to take a hit. But let's say, in my old age, I really don't feel like I want to get hit. So I'm going to try everything I can to avoid getting hit. The problem is, in any kind of fight, you're going to fucking get hit. You know, it's going to be a rare occasion that you're not going to get hit. You know, a very rare occasion. Which means if you knock the guy out with the first blow, you didn't get hit. You know, but if it takes you 3 or 4 blows to knock the guy out, yeah, you probably got hit somewhere in there. You know, and again, all right, like certain moves. If you want power, spinning back kick is power. A standard front kick is power. It is depending on how you are taught, the situation that occurs, and the motion that you use. If you're going to use a jumping front kick, the power is in the jumping and the kicking at the same time. Where if you're just going to use a standard front kick, the power is in where you hit them and how hard you push that damn thing out there. You know, versus, you know, not. Now, if you're going to do crescent kicks, the momentum in your sweep is where the power is going to lie. So wherever your target is, which would probably be cheeks, you know, you want to make sure you put enough oomph behind that damn thing to tear them up. There's one little problem, though. The miss factor. That's right. You can miss a crescent kick. Are you prepared to do what happens after that? Which is why when you have a sequence of attacks, you need to be able to follow through. If you are being attacked by sequences of attacks, you need to be able to block all that shit, or at least get the hell out the way. If you can get out of the way and deliver a devastating kick to them, which would probably be a jumping round kick, which round to the front, not spinning back kick, not spinning hook kick. But if that's the only option you have, you do that. Now, I don't know if you guys are Mass Effect fans, but in the beginning, at the Mars Archive, the robot does karate. When she kicks whatever agent, whether it be Kaidan or Ashley, they get kicked by the robot. So she's like this, and she pivots, and she kicks this way. But she was standing, excuse me, I did that wrong. So she's standing like this, and she looks this way, but then she pivots and kicks this way, which is basically karate. It's a back kick, and she kicks Ashley in the gut or Kaidan in the gut, and she goes down. So if you look at how it's done, you can tell that she had to build up momentum. But being that she's a robot, she probably really didn't need to build up momentum because she's a fucking robot. Robots are made out of metal, last time I checked. Unless you were a Sentinel made by Master Mold, made by Wood a long, long, long time ago in the X-Men Days of Future Past. I have that comic somewhere, or it's been stolen. So I'm going to end this part of the video with you asking this question, or me asking you the question. Is it possible, probable, or problematic that all martial arts has a weakness as well as strength? You just have to figure it out.